Hello, everyone, and good morning. I hope that your morning's going better than mine is because last night the furnace fan in my camper basically self-destructed. So today I get to figure out how to pull the furnace apart, get the fan out, hopefully replace the fan or the motor or whatever actually came apart, and put it back together. Right now in Michigan, it's October. It's actually not terribly cold today for October. You can see on my thermometer here. Let's see, outside in the bottom corner it is 49.6 degrees, and inside I've got a electric heater going. That number is actually kind of slow to refresh, but it's at least 50 in here, and that heater is going to make it warm enough to work. But I need to figure out. Let's see, I got my dog dishes down here, but I need to figure out how to get this panel off. Probably disconnect propane, some electrical things. I think that the furnace in here is basically like a cartridge like a box that comes out as a whole unit. Then I can probably take that box apart, I'm hoping, and maybe service some parts inside of it. I have no idea how much it costs to even get a full furnace for this. Hopefully I don't need to do that. Hopefully it's not expensive. But I'm betting I could probably replace the fan and the motor once I get it out. So anyhow, let's take this thing apart. So I got the cover off, got the decorative face off here. Took the steel panel cover off of this. The first thing I see is that there's a little bit of plastic sitting on the edge there. So that probably is part of what came apart last night. I see down underneath here there's another piece. Let's see if I can grab it. Yeah, there's oh, yeah, look at that. That looks like a piece that these other pieces probably attached to. that's in bad shape. So I'm not sure where that fan actually would sit. Oh, yeah, there's more pieces in here. Yeah, this thing, this really came apart. Oh yeah, it's got a couple more. Oh, it's just like a squirrel cage kind of fan. I bet it sits in a circle and has these little fins all around it. Not surprising, but where is the rest of it, and how do we service it? I guess I'll take a look and get back with you in a minute, see what I find. Oh yeah, there's a few more pieces in there. Where do they come from? I'm guessing that they actually are, the fan must be on the back side of this. This looks like the basically the pipes. So this is a propane furnace. It burns propane. There's a burner. Where does this start? Somewhere in here, maybe where that tube is back there. But anyhow, propane comes in here. The propane is burnt, so there's fire, and that fire essentially is going across these tubes, back and forth, up and down, and meanwhile the furnace is blowing air past all of these. And then that air goes down here and into the ductwork of the camper. So it looks like I need to. Oh yeah, there's another piece of the fan laying on the back over there. And I'm guessing there's a couple more pieces. The fan's probably supposed to be back through that passage. Man, there's just shrapnel all over in here. This thing came apart. A couple more pieces on top. Wow. So it looks like I may be pulling this whole unit right out. And I can see now that there's a couple screws here. Those come out. Yeah. Oh, and that's probably the air inlet vents on top here. So I'll bet the fan's back in that corner over there somewhere. So let's see how to get this thing out, and we'll take a look at the fan. So I got the gas line off here. Sometimes you gotta use the wrong tool for things too. This is just a regular, hex head, put a wrench on it, but it's such a tight fit here that I really couldn't get a wrench in there. So because I have more tools with me, I actually ended up using a set of pliers to get in there, a little bit lower profile, and that worked great. But now I've got screws out the bottom, got the gas line off, and this thing it's loose now. But it feels like there's still another screw connected, maybe on that back corner there, or maybe not. Let's see. Can I wiggle it up? Yeah, it may be loose. What else could be holding it on? I think that's. Oh, you know what? It has a air and air in and exhaust out on the outside here. So I'm gonna go take a look at that. Maybe it's either bolted in there or sets on top of that. Probably sets on top of it. So I'm gonna monkey with this a little bit, see if I can't get it loose and get this thing out of here. Well, so went back outside and this actually makes sense. Got this I don't know, piece that goes on the outside of the camper. This is basically what lets the fresh air come in and the exhaust comes out. The exhaust pipe goes inside of this pipe. So, it's making a good seal and going out of the camper. Want to get that carbon monoxide and dangerous gases out. Then the intake pipe also goes inside of this pipe, which kind of, I think it fits like that. So we essentially had two pipes from the furnace, one coming in, one going out, that were, they're pretty tight fit inside of these pipes, which is good. I mean, they should be. But because they were fitting so tight in there, I couldn't pull the furnace out. So when I went outside and essentially, twisted these loose and pulled them off, I think now I'll be able to get the furnace out. These have a lot of like a putty on them to seal against the outside of the camper. This actually has 6 screws in it, so this bolts to the outside of the camper and has a putty going around it. So one thing I need to be really mindful of is as I put this back together today while the furnace is out, and then again when the furnace goes back in, I want to make sure that this is waterproof so I don't get any leaks from working on the furnace, because that would be catastrophic potentially for a camper. Water leaks is what kills way too many campers. So anyhow, now that I have that off, I am very hopeful that we'll be able to pull this furnace out. Oh yeah, look at that. And I've just got an old t-shirt on the floor here so I don't scrape up this lovely linoleum. Let's see, can I get it up in the back? And this is a really good time to wear gloves too. This sheet metal could really tear your hands up if you're not careful. So let's gently pull this out. Don't want to yank it and break things. Just be gentle and patient. And here it comes. And we have a furnace out of the cubby it belongs in. So now we need to figure out how to access the fan on this and see if we can't get that apart so we can fix it. In fact, at this point, what I think I'm going to do is just put this whole unit in my truck, and it'll even fit in the back seat, so it'll stay dry and clean. But I'm just going to take this whole thing home with me and work on it there. Get on my bench, easier environment to work in. I can stand up and work on it, and we'll take it apart there. So in just a minute, you'll probably see me at my bench taking this apart. Hello everybody, and welcome back. It's a little bit later in the day here, and I've got my this furnace now on my bench at home so I can take a look at it, see everything more easily. And it's definitely missing some teeth out of the blower, so out of the fan. So let's take a look here. And it might be, let's see, maybe I'll flip my camera around so I can have a light. Find a good angle for you here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see right there we're clearly missing a few blades off the fan, and I think we found them earlier. We definitely found some of our blades. And if we spin this around, there's a couple other spots that are missing a few teeth. And also, I think that we lost parts of the outer, the ring that holds this together. Some pieces of this ring, I believe. But you know, this fan doesn't really look as bad as I thought it would, but I could definitely see why it's vibrating. You know, if it's out of balance, it's going to vibrate. So this is on the blower side where it's blowing, pulling air from the camper and blowing it back through the vents. On the other side here, so these are the pipes I was talking about that I had to disconnect to get the blower to come out, or to get the furnace to come out of the camper. And you can see in there, there's another fan, and that one actually looks pretty okay. I don't see any fins that are missing from that one, and I can feel the the motor bearings. I can feel that there's really not play in them as I turn this fan. There's not any end play that I can feel side to side. So I'm going to pull this fan blower assembly out of here so I can at least take this fan out. I mean, I can take both of them out, but I especially want to see this one. And, see if there's more to this, because I've pulled quite a few of these pieces out of this, and it doesn't seem that we're missing as many as I've pulled out. So where have they gone? You can even see in here there's there's a few more pieces in here I need to fish out. So anyhow, I'll get this blower assembly out. We can take a closer look and figure out what the total damage is. Maybe I just need to get a new fan. That would be a pretty simple repair, really. So we will see. So I got this fan apart, and you can see a little bit better now, where the blades broke off of it. This fan really should be about twice as wide as it is, but you can see all those little edges there where the rest of the fan broke off, and those are the pieces I'm finding throughout this furnace. So really, it should be about this big, about that tall, and it sits on this shaft. Let's see here. Whoops. Sits on the shaft something like that. So you can see it would actually almost covers part of the motor. But then it's pulling air in from this side, pulling air in from this side, pushing it out the fins this way, which goes out of here. And that goes, through the furnace, through the heating element, and then into the ductwork out the bottom here. This connects to the ductwork on the camper, and then out the vents all throughout the floor. So again, anyhow, I'll get a new fan for it, put it back together, and I think I'm going to have it's a time-consuming and complicated fix, but in the end, I think it'll be a pretty cheap fix. So good news here. It's not a motor, it's just the fan.